Okay, now we're back in open session and we're discussing the city administrator selection committee. And I guess I'll just kind of open it up by asking, maybe raise your hand if you're interested in being on the selection committee. Alders. Okay, so all. Okay, so we have everybody would like to be on everyone would like to be on the selection committee. So is there any negative thing about just including everyone, Amy?
Unless you break it down into phases, as far as 2 people per committee do a certain thing and other people do another person.
It's tough. You're gonna have different criteria.
No, I mean the same
I'll
criteria.
let Amy answer.
The larger the committee, again, coordinating schedules and making sure everyone is able to attend is going to be critical. So again, it won't be, we'll want everybody on that selection committee present through the process.
Okay, well, and we could set a rule and say like, if you miss one, you're out for the whole rest of it. You can't exit and re-enter too. Okay, Tom wanted to say something and then we'll go to Stephen.
I just had a question, like I'll be going off the council in April. So my last council meeting now, it will be April 11th, which is the second. Now, I know that, there'll be some follow-up. I don't know, like if you're on the interview committee, whether it would make sense, like say if I was on it. And if there are follow-ups or if it falls behind, so I'm not for sure if that would have any impact, but whether I'm on the council or not, but I could officially be off the council after the 11th. After the 18th. So I don't know if that has a bearing. So I just wanted to mention that if it made sense for me not to be just because of that timing, but
I
just
think
wanted to bring that up.
you would be along for the ride most of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'd be there for most of it and I could still finish being my input, I guess.
Let's do Stephen and then we'll go back to
Just
the.
wanted to bring
side.
that up though.
I have a recommendation that maybe Amy gives out 2 possible schedules and gets the names of who's able to do both of them. I understand there'll only be a difference by some days. It won't be a significant difference. And whichever one gets the most responses of participation is one we go with. Because I agree, it'll be hard to get 6 people who are going to be able to vote 3 days, but you come out with 2 different options, whichever one has the most responses is the one we do.
Like a doodle poll, or what is that called? The doodle poll?
Yeah, doodle polls.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody over here, you want to say something?
Just responding to Tom's point, even if it's not on the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not really,
Like,
It's irrelevant.
Would still
Yeah,
see
I
it.
have the background, so I would still know, yeah.
I don't know that we have to kick you off and.
Yeah.
No.
I just didn't know if it was a council thing,
Oh, you were on it until the last day, man.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to bring it up though.
To that point, though, I think that we could appoint people from the public to. serve
That's true.
too, So.
yeah, so,
I don't see any reason why you'd have to be booted. Or if we went with the mayor's proposal, if you miss one, you're done and just don't.
Okay,
you could be
yeah.
like, drop the mic and you're out of here, but.
Amy, I thought that when I've seen other communities having interviews, and I feel like it was the council. I feel like that one that Diane and I watched, the mayor was
Interviewer.
yeah, kind of like the interviewer, like the moderator, so to speak, kind of talking into the mic and being like, kind of like,
Got a vote also, that mayor got a vote also.
and all the counselors were there. So I don't think it's that, although I understand kind of that it's a little frustrating, I don't think it's that unusual.
They also had a smaller council. Right, maybe
Smaller than
five-
6?
Yeah, I think they had 4, they had 1 or 2 fewer people.
6 is still manageable. 7 is manageable.
I don't know. She's not gonna comment.
Well, odds of having all 7 of us being able to show up to the exact same dates for 3 days is probably pretty low. So I suspect you're going to end up with 4 or 5. So again, is there anyone who has a lot of, as I'll make it a motion if you want, but does anyone have a lot of heartache if we just have 2 different options of schedules and whichever one fills with the most people we go with?
Does it have to be 3?
Well, there's probably not a lot of flexibility.
Well,
Yeah.
a few more choices.
So what do you mean by that? You mean like say 3 days?
Yeah, so March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, again, forgive me, I don't have my calendar. If
It
it's-
would be
was falling
one
on
date
Sunday,
in the
that's not
beginning
where
of
I'm going.
March.
And then the next one would be March, 9th, 10th, 11th. These are the 2 days and we can, or the 2 options of 3 days, we can make work, get it done in time so that we can start doing background checks and all that. Who can make these? And then whichever one fills with the most people, that's the one we go with,
How do you feel about that, Amy?
I know that you all have, there's always good intentions going into it, that these are going to be the interview dates, but I do think that we also may want to be somewhat flexible on our candidates as well. We don't know what's going on in their lives, emergencies, things pop up, same as in all of your lives as well. So it's nice to have kind of a contingent date as well, just for purposes where maybe the candidate can't make it, or maybe one of you can't make it for some unintended consequence or unattended.
Yeah, and I feel like that too, just knowing like how my schedule works, like it'd be better if we just picked one day, the first week of March to do the review of everything, whatever, and then kind of set forth a plan for what those other dates are gonna be. And that to me kind of makes more sense because you don't want to artificially hinder yourself when you don't have all the information yet.
Plus, I think we're going to be a lot closer to, what if we wait till March 1st, then we're going to be a lot closer to what our schedules are, and they're going to be more
Right.
firm up dates of availability and such.
Yeah,
If we
'cause
did it
really,
now.
right now, we just need to know
Yeah.
one day, toward the end of the first week of March, right?
A counterpoint to Diane though is the further out it is, the easier it is to schedule.
Mhm.
I mean, they're
Lock it
less
in.
likely to
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
like things that may pop up, sorry, I can't do that, I'm doing the city administrator.
Okay, I think what we should do is, we should decide if fundamentally we really want every council person to be on the committee, because, I mean, that's what's at stake here, right? And I know from Amy's viewpoint, she doesn't want to say it because she's very polite. I'm gonna guess that she doesn't want all 6 people on. Okay, I'm gonna just say that. She would rather have 3. Right?
Speak freely.
And again, it's at the prerogative of the council. Again, if you want all members on that selected committee, that's certainly your prerogative. If you want it to be fewer. Sometimes, again, pros and cons with everything. I mean, to have, more perspective on that candidate. And then at the same time, then you don't have to, when you go to confirm it, you already have a collective selection as a group. But again, it's just really being able to finagle everyone's schedule and making it work. It's going to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
The first go around isn't gonna have any candidates at all, correct?
Correct. We'll need a prep day.
Kind of a dilemma, I mean, you don't want to take an older. Cut them out if they wanna, if they
Exactly.
wanna
Right,
participate.
and it's a big deal
By
on
the same
everybody.
token, Then, it's kind of, you got. Too many cooks, that.
But we always say, you have your vote, you have one vote. And I think that we should, look at this and let as many people in that want to be, that know that they can do it and that want to be involved.
And I think too is that, 5 of us are sitting here that are going to be here after the 3rd Tuesday in April, that we're going to be serving with this person, as far as on council, and then of course the mayor. So I would think that we would want to have a say in, and at least have some input and some informed input as to what we're making a decision on.
Right.
So-
so
I don't wanna
maybe-
kick
maybe
anybody
make a
out.
proposal
Right.
here. Like, what if we have kind of a smaller committee and then the larger committee? And the smaller committee does the first kind of the weeding out. And then when we get the,
Interviews.
when we get to the interviews, then it opens up to the full body. That might be easier.
That'd
to
work.
plan.
That'd work.
It's kind of like a screening committee,
Yeah.
first pass group and then.
I just want to ask a question. Does everybody here realistically have the flexibility in their schedules so that they can dedicate that this is the number one thing in their day when it comes time for that?
I can if it's before a certain date and after a certain date,
I can.
but I could, as long as it's not this window in March.
Stay away from Mondays and Fridays.
Good thing about being the boss is I can just be, I'm gonna not be here today, so you have to take care of things, and that's.
So I'm not hearing
I
anyone
don't
saying
do
no.
that often, but this is important.
Yeah, this is really important.
With my job, I'm flexible too. The other question I have is, since Tom's not gonna be here. And obviously there's only one individual that's running for his spot. Do we want to invite that individual to be here? Cause he's gonna be part of the future council.
I'm good friends with Sean. I'm just gonna say
Not to cancel.
no,
No.
and he'd be fine with that.
Yeah, John would not care, I don't think.
Yeah,
I
he's,
think we need to just,
Like that, whatever you guys think.
until the day that you transfer, you know, the authority of the district alder, Tom's it. I mean, that's just the way
Well,
it
and
is.
besides that-
He doesn't serve until 3 weeks before his term is over. He serves until his term is over.
Well-
Tom has the experience
Yeah.
to know how we operate.
well, and plus, we're saying he's on the selection committee, not just because we're not saying the first district alder person is on it.
Right.
We're saying Tom is on it, so that's regardless. Okay, Amy, I'm sorry. I think we're gonna have to just go with it. So I'm not gonna tell someone, I mean, none of us want to tell someone they can't be on the committee if they want to be, so we need a motion.
I'll move that the selection committee consist of all elected officials.
Including the judge?
Oh, I'll correct that. I move that the selection committee be comprised of all members of the common council.
Clarify that, please, that's those that want to or kind of thing.
Those that want to and can attend, correct?
I will second that.
That's the compulsory aspect. of it.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, the motion was by Alder Knott, it was seconded by Alder Wolf, that the select Wolf.
L in there.
Wolf. It always gets sillier the later the meeting goes. Okay, Alder Wolf,
Yes, thank you.
Common Council. Is that including me or not including me?
Including you. All, you're a member.
All right,
Everyone is-
okay,
Not the judge, he doesn't know.
any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, what else do you need, Amy?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
So give it to me.
Motion by Stephen Knott, seconded by, we'll let Tom Smith. To adjourn, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. We are adjourned. The time is 8:25. Go see your buddy.